while I understand that Mancini and Hosmer are respected veterans, and that means something more in a clubhouse than what we as fans probably see or notice at all. To me, I just don't know how much more Matt Mervis needs to prove. I know it was 1 year. He went from double A, I want to say, or single A or double.
From the high A
all the way up to triple A last year. Then went to the Arizona Fall League and did well. And I know he didn't do well in the World Baseball Classic for the few games that Israel actually played. But he's only gone back to Iowa and currently has a higher walk rate than strikeout rate. I'm not saying you call him up to play every single day. I am saying if Mancini and Hosmer continue to struggle like this, there's absolutely no reason that he doesn't get the call. I put the line at May 1st. I put my line at May 1st on opening day.
That's pretty close.
All right? So I'm not saying call him up tomorrow. I'm saying soon, because as much as I think Mancini will figure it out, I just don't have a lot of belief in Eric Hosmer being more than what he is. So that's where I'm at. And because of how much Eric Hosmer is getting paid, you can afford to cut bait with that. And again, I understand that he has a veteran presence and all this, but there's also other veterans on this team too. And at the end of the day, you play the best players. If you want to win, you play the best players. And Matt Mervis, in my opinion, has proved enough to be on the Chicago Cubs tomorrow. That's how I feel.
I'm not saying he hasn't proven a lot at AAA. I think he's gone up. I mean, but he went up every level last year and was maybe even better at each level. When he might have been better at AA than he was at single A. Better at AAA than AA. The reason I push back on that is just he's still at like low 300 plate appearances total at the AAA level, which is it's a good amount. I think something like maybe 500 is maybe where most teams are more comfortable making sure guys get those amount before they're like really ready. I'm not saying he's not. He seems ready to me, but the other thing is we're comparing AAA to Major League Baseball here, and we're saying yes, he's killing it at AAA. Same with Morel, killing it at AAA. He should, if he's Major League ready, he should be killing it at AAA. It'd be a problem if he wasn't hitting this well. So it's the same thing with Morel. We saw how much he struggled after that, that first month or so. He had a few more highs, but a lot more lows that whole season. Now he goes back to AAA and is killing it. Well, he should be, because he had all that Major League experience, saw what it was. Like the big league level was a huge jump. And I'm not saying Matt Mervis doesn't deserve the shot soon, but it's April 18th. We're 15 games into the season. Eric Hosmer hasn't been the hitter he was in the past, the last few years. But to think that Mancini, who's admittedly struggling, to say he can't turn it around after 15 games is a little too reactionary, in my opinion.
I agree with you on
that. And it's a guy who hit 35 bombs in a major league season. So he's done it.
Yeah, comeback player of the year, like all this stuff. Like he has that type of success. And I mentioned it to you guys earlier, like just the fact of like, are you going to cut Eric Hosmer 2 weeks into the season, a pretty respected veteran in that clubhouse, full of a lot of guys who are still relatively young in the league and don't have that type of like knowing how to win at the big league level? That I don't know what kind of message that sends to the clubhouse. And then the other reason I push back is, again, not saying that Matt Mervis doesn't deserve the opportunity, but if he comes up and he struggles, like that, then what do people say? Like you're putting a lot of stock in a guy who had one really, really good year in the minor leagues. You're putting a lot of stock in him to come up and perform really well right away. And Jed Hoyer talked about it when the day that Ian Happ signed his extension, that the Chris Bryant stories are pretty freaking rare. It's more of like, you see more of the Ian Happ type stories or the Kyle Schwarbers where they might come up, pass us, but they're going to go through their ups and downs, right? They're going to go through their ups and downs. Ian Happ, 2 years in his career, 2019, got optioned to AAA to start the year because those ups and downs were so, like they were so big, right? Yeah. So I would like to see Matt Mervis get a shot sooner rather than later. That's not at all what I'm saying. Like there will be a point where like there's nothing left for him to prove at AAA, and he deserves the opportunity. But to say that he needs to come up because Trey Mancini and Eric Hosmer aren't performing, you're putting a lot of stock into a still relatively young guy, no major league experience, to come in and like play the savior in a way. To come in and shore up you're putting stock in him to come in and shore up the deficiencies at first base that Eric Hosmer. Well, I mean, Hosmer hasn't, I don't think, been as bad as what Mancini showed. But you're asking
defensively,
him,
no.
Yeah, you're asking Mervis to come in and fill in and make up for what Mancini especially is struggling with, and I just think that's a lot of stock to put into a guy who's never played, he's never seen a pitch at the major league level. I think we're sitting here on April 18th. There is still a lot of time for a guy like Trey Mancini to start to turn things around. 15 games into the year. That's
what I was thinking.
As small
it's 15
sample
games.
Yeah. As small sample sizes go, that's
I want to see him.
Sample size.
I want to see him, and he's doing all the things he should do to push his way up. But I'm not going to panic 15 games in. You're playing well. Sean said in the comments, and I think this is something to consider too. Don't rock the boat right now. Like, things are going pretty well. You don't have to panic and be like, we have to get this one more guy to fix the one position that's not playing well, because you know what? Let's be honest. 2 weeks from now, 15 days later, we might be saying, man, Wisdom just can't get a hit. Should we bring Morel up? Isn't it time Morel? That's just how fast baseball can turn sometimes. Yeah. So let's wait. Let's see if he can do a whole month down there where he's just absolutely mashing. And let's see if these guys are continuing to struggle. And then maybe there will be decisions but the best case scenario for the Cubs is you get the guys to bounce back, the veterans, Mancini and Hosmer, to start playing well, and you get Mervis playing well, because then you have the flexibility of doing anything you want.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, the only reason that I'm on the cliff of like, oh, can we get Mervis
for 17
already?
Mancini's got you concerned.
Well, it's not even, honestly, it's not Mancini. It's Hosmer.
Okay.
Hosmer's ground ball rate is ridiculous. He saw 2 whole pitches on Saturday, or maybe whatever game he played last, 2 whole pitches. First one, he popped it straight up on the infield. Second one, he hit into a ground ball double play. And then, of course, Wisdom hit a solo shot right after it. And it's, again, I've given him credit. Hell, there's a tweet out there of mine that says Hosmer has been better than we all expected. And he's had big hits.
He's had some 3-hit games.
He's had some decent games. He's had some hits in big moments when the Cubs needed a run or two here or there. I'm not saying that he's horrific and all this. All I'm saying is that how much longer can you ride that wave? And Hosmer just, I think he's shown that what he is on the back of what he's been the back end of his career, and we're seeing it ourselves. And Mancini's a guy that we could, like, anyone who's out on him already, I think y'all need to, like, go outside or, have a beer or something. But Hosmer is the guy, to me, that's like, his days are numbered, because even when he signed, he knew that his days were numbered. He had to have known that with what the Cubs have in Matt Mervis.
If Mervis were to push him, yeah. Well, Mancini has the 2-year deal.
Yeah,
so they're going to give him longer to figure it out.
He's not going anywhere.
No.
Right. And so I'm not out on Mancini. I'm not saying that you bench him or anything. All I'm saying is that the Cubs just need help at first base. And I understand 15 games in, we have to let some things play out. But I also said May 1st. That's my line. If he's not here by May 1st and first base is still a big toss-up, then I'm going to be a little irked. That's all I'm saying.